And now it's time for another one of my lovely videos on YouTube. My cat! I'm going to grab finish of you! Get that and that! Hey guys, it is me, Smart Brewer here. And basically, although this is a disaster video, it might be a bit more ranty. It basically just depends on your opinion. But the thing is that in all likelihood, Donald Trump will be getting impeached. He will. After all. Even though it's been hardly over 100 days since Donald Trump took office. This after he was sworn in and after winning the presidency and also becoming the Republican nominee and all that lot. Basically, he has ended up stabbing all of his supporters in the back by failing to deliver on promises. Not to mention, and he also has record low approval ratings, which are so low you could hardly imagine the possibility of him even having a second term. Yet at this rate in the video, let's just see by going back in the past, or rather looking back into the past, during the campaigning, what a few Trump supporters had to say with their favorite golden boy.
Made in USA, bitch! Made in fucking USA! Don't fucking cook my burrito, bitch!
Another idea I like from Trump is the temporary Muslim ban. Wow, you're a total racist! Mind-blowing fact, but Muslim isn't a race. Putting a temporary pause on Muslim immigration is not racism. And it's not even bigotry. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but our vetting system has a real problem right now.
Don't fucking make my tortilla, motherfucker!
Talking about the sexual assault of women, he says he likes to grab him by the pussy. Maybe not now, because he's a little bit older. When he was younger, man, he probably got mad fuck pussy. End of story. If you don't like grabbing girls by the pussy, and you're a guy, you're gay. I mean, it's not a negative thing, but that's just you're gay.
And build that fucking wall for me! Trump! I love Trump!
Okay. So, that's been what the Trump supporters were all saying. And in the end, he stabbed pretty much all of them in the back. But is scrapping from doing things such as scrapping in things protecting LGBT students in high school to doing budgets which only seek to benefit families in the top 1% of America. And on top of that, Trump may not even survive a year as president of the United States due to his complete and utter disregard of the Constitution of the United States, and chooses to treat it like toilet paper that he wants to flush down the toilet, and doing all kinds of other carnage, ranging from constantly going into dispute over the crowd sizes at his inauguration ceremony by saying they were far bigger than Barack Obama's, even though there is clear evidence proving that he is wrong. As other pledges have ended up going down as well, which also ranges from Trump's Muslim ban, and which ended up having the courts come down on his administration like a ton of bricks for breaching the U.S. Constitution, and also for the wall thing that the border wall he promised that Mexico would pay. He ended up changing his mind a lot of times and confusing pretty much everyone on whether the wall he was meaning to was physical or metaphorical. To which in the end people realized it was a physical wall. Yet it's pretty much of it still only being an idea on a piece of paper. It's been primarily like that due to complete and utter confusion on who on earth would wind up even paying for its construction. And anyways, it seemed to be the final nail in the coffin for Trump and his administration, even though there were loads and loads and loads of leaks, to the point where Sean Spicer was having a meeting about those leaks, which didn't want to get leaked in the first place, and having people in different bits of his administration going at each other's throats, and constantly fighting with each other. As for Trump, basically his nail in the coffin was after he fired former FBI director, the now former FBI director James Comey, to which then Comey had done prior a load of notes, or rather memos, on what Trump had been saying, to which one of them, if there was more than one, ended up revealing that Trump, he was doing a women obstruction of justice by trying to interfere in an FBI investigation into a former member of Trump's administration over his links to Russia. And the thing is, even if he does end up getting impeached, there's a little sting in the tail. And that is primarily because even when a president gets impeached, it could take months or even years to occur. Meaning that until he actually ends up being impeached, he could pretty much do whatever on earth he likes until the Congress and the Senate and the American people choose to go and throw him out of the White House. So in the end, and you may be wondering one simple question: how on earth could America have wound up falling for such a con man, and enough for him to get put into the White House? The answer is simple. And that answer is that for Trump, he promised his voters heaven and the earth, but in resorting to insulting his opponent Hillary Clinton by threatening to lock her up over her use of a private email server and choosing to brush aside a major event where he was heard clearly stating that you could grab someone by their genitals without even having to ask for consent, which basically, due to Pussygate, that equivalented to sexual assault, as people found out in the second debate during the race to the White House, to which Trump ended up describing it as nothing more but locker room talk. Anyways, yes. Ultimately, as a summary for what made Trump's supporters wind up being fooled into what he was saying and fooling them to give their votes to him was primarily when Trump was promising heaven and the earth, as Americans felt that they were being treated almost as if they were second class to people from overseas, who, like people who are in Britain, including me, felt like at the time foreigners were getting everything they wanted on a golden platter by their elected officials, whilst them and all their other local community type people, basically everyone in the community, those people thought that they were basically getting treated as second class by their elected officials. So, in the end for Trump, because of everything he done, even if he doesn't get impeached, which is highly unlikely now, those people who once supported him are now going to be turning against him come the midterm elections if he is lucky enough to survive the prospect of being impeached. If you like this video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up, comment on down below, and subscribe. So, bye!
Milkshake, 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 milkshake. We don't need to leave the UK to be Scottish.
My cat!